Alright, so last week I got involved in the Stormtrooper relocation program. Apparently after the destruction of the Death Star, a lot of Stormtroopers were displaced, I guess. And, yeah, I was happy to help. I was happy to help out. I really was. At first. I mean, he seemed really cool. At first. But I don't know, I mean, you know, there's helping somebody try to get back on their feet, and then there's just them... Well... yeah.
Yeah, rehabilitation, it's, yeah, you know, it's been kind of tough, and, yeah, you know, I'm not gonna lie, I'm really taking advantage of this guy. Yeah, this Robert guy, he's not too bright. Yeah, it's really hard. Really hard. Drinking all this soda. Oh, it's so good. Yeah, I used to go to work a lot, you know, and sometimes I invite a few Twi'leks over, and one thing leads to another, and if you'll excuse me, it's time for my Stormtrooper nap. So if you could just go away, that would be,
Hey there guys, welcome. Alright, fine. Don't want to be. Hey there guys, welcome to another episode of RobaFett. And welcome to my top 10 funniest Star Wars games ever made. I have a long history all throughout my childhood of loving and playing Star Wars games. With that being said, there's been a lot of funny ones. So let's go ahead and take a look. Jedi Power Battles. I have a lot of fond memories of playing this game. Like a lot of games that came out in the early 2000s, it was mostly based off of Episode 1. There was just so many games based off the Phantom Menace. It's funny in itself. Basically, you have the choice of 5 different Jedis that you can choose from, which is ObiWan, Qui-Gon Jinn, Mace Windu, Adagalia, and Plo Koon. Of course, this was before they knew what color their lightsabers actually were. And essentially, you run around the map bashing enemies with your lightsaber as if it was made out of plastic, which is pretty funny because that's what I did with my cousins growing up. Each level had its own unique boss at the end. Probably among my favorites were the giant random caterpillar that you fight in the forests of Naboo. And of course, who could forget?
we've been waiting for you.
They also had some very interesting cheats for that game. I remember one being you could be Darth Maul, and another one you could have a super giant lightsaber, and every time you picked up a health, it was Yoda's head, and he'd always go Overall, I have some really fond memories of this game, and looking back, it was pretty hysterical, but at the same time, pretty fun game. Star Wars ObiWan for the Xbox, the original Xbox. My first impressions of this game was I thought it was going to take place over all of Obi-Wan's life, you know. I thought you were going to be able to beat him through the Phantom Menace all the way to A New Hope, and I thought that sounded really cool. It had a lot of prospect. All the previews of it looked really cool. And then you play it, and it actually turns out to be a prequel of a prequel of a prequel. No, it's just a prequel of a prequel. And a nonsensical prequel at that. The game mechanics were really weird in this game, and the voice acting was... ugh, just listen to it.
I have a bad feeling about this.
I don't sense anything.
It's not about the mission master. It's something elsewhere. Elusive. What's that?
Dioxis gas! Poison!
I honestly feel like the studio producer just ran out on the street and found the first British person they came across and was like, hey, he has a British accent, he can do it!
I'm not sure.
Not to mention that eventually you catch up with a Phantom Menace, and it's not even accurate. They changed so many things. Of course, to make the game more Interesting. And of course, the big part that you're looking forward to, the fight with Darth Maul, they cut all the way to the end. And it's just a very anticlimactic fight. They did have a lot of interesting mechanics with the lightsaber. You can use it with the joystick, which I really liked. Overall, I did have fun playing this game, I remember. However, it was just very strange. Although I really did enjoy the Jedi arena battles. Those were really cool. Atagalia always freaking had it out for me. And the aerobics in this game, it was just a very weird thing to add in. All in all, though, I do remember having fun playing it. And it still fills me with some pretty good memories.
They've destroyed our ship!
Star Wars Clone Wars for Xbox and PlayStation 2, I'm not going to spend too much time on this one. All I'm going to say about it was it came out at a time where there wasn't really much storyline based off the Clone Wars. It was like almost immediately after the movie. It was supposed to bridge the gap between Attack of the Clones and of course Revenge of the Sith. It was a vehicle-based game, so basically you spent most of your time in a vehicle, which really sucked because when you got out of the vehicle, you didn't want to get back in it because the combat was actually pretty cool. And then they made you get back in the tank. Not only that, but, you know, Jedis, I was under the assumption that they used lightsabers and the Force to fight, not a freaking tank. That aspect of this game always made me hate it with a passion. Not only that, but hilariously, they have Count Dooku depending on yet another bounty hunter to do his whimsies. And of course, once again, horrible voice acting. This game had great potential, and I was just so sad that it was a waste. It's funny to me just based on how weird it was. It's kind of like Banjo-Kazooie Nuts and Bolts, except Star Wars. Get me out of the vehicle, please. Soulcalibur. As we all know, Soulcalibur has always had a wide list of cameo characters that they add into their games, and in the fourth one, they did Yoda. Yoda was in the game. It'd also be Darth Vader, but Yoda, it was just so funny. I had this for Xbox 360, and it was just so funny to see Yoda in a fighting game. Especially one as violent and graphic as Soulcalibur. That in itself just made it funny enough to add to the list. The Starfighter series. I'm just gonna go ahead and lump these two games together. Jedi Starfighter and Naboo Starfighter, which came out first, of course, based off of the episode 1, and then the next one, it was based off of just the Jedi character Atagalia, which they really liked adding in the games, I guess, even though she like died really fast in the third movie. I just always remember thinking that they were really funny games with really weird plots. All in all, that's really all I have to say about that. Star Wars Dark Forces. I played this game on PC and the PlayStation 1, and I gotta say, on a few of the levels, it scared the crap out of me. There was just a couple levels on this game that were kind of dark and creepy. It was basically Star Wars' answer to Doom, the Doom series. That being said, the bad graphics, going in today just made it kind of really funny to go back and play. One interesting thing was whenever you killed anybody, their bodies followed you. It always creeped me out as a kid, and looking back at it now, it's just something that's really bad, and honestly, just really funny. I always used to think the ObiFett fight was really fun as a kid, and now looking back at it, it was just so bad. It's just him aimlessly in the same like cardboard cutout position, flying and bashing into you and shooting you. That's all it is. It's so funny. And you can't beat the dialogue scenes in this one.
The Emperor has approved your test demonstration, General Monk.
Thank you, Lord Vader. What I unveil today will mark a new era for the Empire.
Star Wars Demolition. This is actually a game I actually do have fond memories of playing with friends and loved ones. That being said, looking back at it, it was probably a pretty atrocious game, and it was super, super goofy for being a Star Wars game. It was basically Star Wars' answer to Twisted Metal. Apparently they felt the need that they need to make every game type for Star Wars. Star Wars needs their own kind of game for everything, and this was their answer to that. It had some really weird characters in it that they just made up for the game. I remember you could be an old guy in an ATST for some reason, a Jawa that had control of a staff, and some Force-sensitive dude that ended up buying Luke's old land speeder. And even worse was the plot. Basically, pod racing had been banned, and now Jabba the Hutt hosts Fight to the Death, Hunger Games of Star Wars. The whole concept of it was just really ridiculous. And unless you were Boba Fett, you were in a vehicle the whole time. I remember there was nothing scarier than hearing the freaking Rancor come up on you. Rancor, no, no! That being said, I do have some really good memories with this game, and it's still pretty fun to play. Alright, so we all know that the Kinect is a failure. That being said, Star Wars, Kinect, it's terrible, terrible. It's just terrible. It's broken. It doesn't work. It's awful, horrible, terrible. Don't ever get it. Don't ever play it. No, no, no. Bad. Failure. 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 Star Wars Bombad Racing, and Bombad it was. Oh my god. If ever I was more disappointed in buying a Star Wars game, I don't remember it. This was basically, again, Star Wars' answer to another game, a Mario Kart, Sonic Racing, whatever. All those racing games, basically we get a bunch of stupid little cutesy versions of Darth Maul and Jar Jar Binks and Obi-Wan Kenobi. And oh yeah, what do all these characters have in common? They're all from the Phantom Menace. There was like this golden age of... it wasn't a golden age, it was like a stink age of games that came from the Phantom Menace, and this was probably the worst. Star Wars Bombad Racing. Ladies and gentlemen. Last but not least, we saved it, I honestly, I feel like I never say this right. Star Wars Masters of Teras Cassie, or Cassie. I don't know, and I love how Star Wars has added their own little accents on top. You can't do that. Don't. I'm guessing that it's a form of martial arts, of Star Wars martial arts. And, I mean, if you ever wanted a game where you're wondering who would win, Tusken Raider versus Boba Fett, or, freaking Slave Leia versus Darth Vader, well, guess what? Here it is. As if we didn't already know the answer to that. Oh yeah, and if you also wanted a game where lightsaber characters bash endlessly other characters with hardly ever bringing their life bar down, guess what? Your wish has been granted once again. A Star Wars fighting game. Does it have merit? No, it doesn't. Why? Like, never, ever should you think of this game. I mean, first of all, there's not enough Star Wars characters. We had to make up random ones that that are so uninteresting to put in. I don't know what to do with this game. This game, it boggles my mind that it exists. And what's funny is, as a kid, I searched really hard to get this game, and when I got it, I wanted to chuck it straight into my garbage can, because that's what it freaking was. Oh yeah, and this.
Darth Vader versus Thor.
Are you kidding me? You couldn't think of a better name to that? I mean, there's no way they were taking this game seriously. I mean, how did this game happen? And if you were a character that shot a gun, you had to power it up. Characters with lightsabers just already had them out. You had to freaking... That was your super move. It's just to shoot somebody. That's all... Oh. And the difficulty factor, I remember I played the tournament to get Johto Cast, which is just another... It's like another color of Boba Fett. It's basically like an alternate costume of Boba Fett. That's what he is. And I couldn't get past the third one. And it was just... I have some very frustrating memories of playing video games, but this is one of the ones where I almost broke my controller because I threw it on the ground so hard, so many freaking times. And even with the made-up characters, there's hardly anybody to beat. I mean, come on. I mean, if you're gonna add these ridiculous characters, I mean, why not have C-3PO and R2-D2 in there? I mean, R2-D2 versus Luke Skywalker. I mean, why not? Why not just do it? Just do it. Just do it. I mean, you're already there. Just do it. Just jump off the edge. It's okay. You're already at the cliff. Just do it. So out of pure frustration, this game has made my number one in the countdown. Star Wars Masters of Teras. Well, guys, that concludes the countdown. And good news, we found Steve, aka TK421, a place to relocate, as he's still trying to find time, to find a job or whatever. And it couldn't have come too soon. See you, Steve! Hey there, guys, thanks for watching. As always, like, comment, rate, subscribe. Like I always say, you don't have to, but if you did, it would really help me out. And let me know what you think down in the comments below. What did you think of the games? Tell me some of those Star Wars games you remember, or maybe some funny memories you have, or some horrible Star Wars games, or some great Star Wars games from your past. I'd really like to hear about that in the comment section below. What's your top 10? I want to know. And as always, keep those fun strats on, and I'll see you later. Oh, are you serious?